Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Assassins and Olympians by Marie Howelt. This is a book coming out September 1st, 2023 from Spaceboy Books. I received an e-arc from the author in exchange for a fair review. So thank you. A quick and quirky space opera novella, Assassins and Olympians is a fun ride. What is it about? When interstellar private investigator Richard Hart and his pilot, Eddie Marcius, are combing a Zetoy city for a fugitive insurance fraudster, I had to read that like 8 times. The open and shut case takes an unexpected and deadly turn. They return to their spaceships, the Colibri, with a dangerous military secret that threatens to have dire consequences for everyone involved. Conflicts begin to brew, despite travel guide writer turned living consultant Alana Jackson's eager attempts to keep tempers in check. As Richard and crew reconnect with a familiar Terran Defense Force intelligence officer, they discover a political game that requires their discretion, and may even throw humanity's peaceful unity into question. I definitely enjoyed this quick little read, as it was light, entertaining, and had a nice found family vibe. Not quite cozy, but not quite thriller. The book feels part of a larger world. The world building is extensive and well wrought, though I do wish we'd seen more of the alien worlds rather than those populated mainly by humans. In fact, there aren't really any aliens in the book aside from pedestrians on the alien world at the start. I was kind of like, oh, that's too bad. There aren't any aliens like in the crew either. The characters, though, were quite fun. We have an intimate little crew with likable and easily grasped personalities. I love the LGBTQ plus aspects, as well as how Richard, the main character, has a disability related to his hearing. We rarely see that reflected in books, especially in main characters, so that was great. Despite it being a novella, each of them has their own little story arc that alters them slightly by the end of the book, whether that be their perception of another person or of themselves. I thought that was really well done and very kind of subtle. It wasn't obvious kind of what their trajectories were, but by the end I was like, okay, they all kind of changed a little bit. I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. One thing I wasn't aware of going in is that this is actually part of a larger series. This is like book 2 or something. While there was enough casual exposition to situate the characters in the world building, it did feel like I was a bit of a new girlfriend at a party of lifelong friends. As such, I was kept a bit on the periphery, like I was missing something of their past that would have broadened their personalities even more for me. This was only really an issue in the first half. By the midway point, I felt like I knew them quite well. So it's not like it was like a problem the whole time, but at the start I was kind of like, oh, I don't really know these people. For example, it was obvious that Eddie has a thing for Alana, but I wasn't sure why she hadn't asked her out yet, given her headstrong personality, or whether Alana just wasn't into women, she turned Eddie down before, or she was clueless of it. I don't know. It seemed like something that had developed in the previous book that I should have been aware of. Similarly, the plot has a very team-focused mission. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a good we're not saving the universe vibe, because saving the universe is sometimes so lofty. Like, sometimes the stakes go, right through the vampire instead of striking them in the heart. And no, there's no vampires in this book. I don't know why I made that metaphor. Anyway, I'm not changing it, but that's kind of what it felt like. Anyway, I thought the story was interesting and everything made sense, but the plot was resolved a little bit too easily for me. Maybe because it was a novella, though sometimes a novella just feels too short. And maybe that's the thing too. I want it to be longer because I really liked kind of the world building that I experienced. I think the writer has great talent. Her prose is sharp, and she's excellent at conveying mood and personality through dialogue. So I do wonder if reading the first book would have been beneficial for me to kind of meet the characters that way. Either way, though, I had a really good time. It was fun. It was quick. I read it really fast, and I wanted a bit more when I was done. So that's probably a good recommendation for this book. So if you want to read a kind of cozy thriller sci-fi, I definitely recommend checking this out. Maybe check out the first book too. And yeah, thank you again to the author for the review copy. I really appreciate it.